Hello and welcome to NTA News International at 7. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. On the news this moment, President Buhari summons national security meeting to find solutions to critical issues affecting national security. Chief Justice of Nigeria frowns against issuing of reckless remand orders as Nigerian Judges Conference of Lower Courts opens. Plus, federal government to scrap annual performance evaluation report as a tool for assessing civil servants. Now, the news. More proactive, decisive and robust plan of action are soon to be unfolded towards curtailing and containing the prevailing acts of crime and criminality in parts of the country. Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Maigari Dingyadi, who announced this after an extraordinary meeting of the National Security Council, said the move is to ensure that Nigeria is more effectively secured and peace reigns supreme for the good of all. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that the meeting was summoned by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Although the National Security Council meets on quarterly basis, this one is coming less than 1 month after the last strategic engagement by members on the nation's security situation. President Muhammadu Buhari, who convened the meeting, is worried over the increasing cases of armed banditry and kidnapping in parts of the country, which he described as intolerable. During the meeting held behind closed doors, members of the upper echelon of the nation's security and intelligence community took turns to critically analyze the situation and make recommendations on the best way forward. The Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Maigari Dingyadi, who briefed newsmen after the meeting, said the president was unequivocal that Nigerians deserve a much more peaceful environment and nothing will be left to chance towards achieving the objectives.
Mr. President thanked members for the efforts they are making in maintaining peace and will do whatever it is to support security agencies in providing peace in the country. Mr. President assures Nigerians that he will do whatever it takes to ensure that the repeat of NSAS protests does not occur in Nigeria again. Mr. President has assured that all stakeholders will be involved in the process of maintaining peace in the country, that federal government will continue to maintain its democratic, humane and just postures in handling security matters in the country.
Participants at the meeting appreciated the president for his genuine commitment to national security and promised to individually and collectively remain alive to their responsibilities in the maintenance of peace, law and order for a prosperous Nigeria.
The meeting agreed to be more proactive in dealing with the situation in the most decisive manner. The meeting noted the need to pay greater attention to the police in the discharge of its functions of maintaining peace in the country in the areas of equipment and modern technology. The meeting thanked the President for the concern which he has shown in repositioning the police to perform more effectively.
The National Security Council has a constitutional mandate of advising the president on all matters relating to public security. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Proper management of conflict for national development is the crux of the 4-day leadership course on preventive diplomacy and conflict resolution holding in Abuja. Uche Ugochukwu tells us more about the event organized by the National Orientation Agency and Peace Building Development Consult.
Conflict is an inevitable aspect of human existence. However, if not properly handled, could lead to devastating consequences on lives and property. To avert these negative consequences, this program seeks ways of deploying preventive diplomacy to achieve sustainable peace in society.
We are here to support a process that will make all the participants capable to provide vision and knowledge to those who are under them.
The need for continuous update so as to enhance a more effective engagement with those responsible for the promotion of peace and stability in our society, and even those that are opposed to existing models of peace building cannot therefore be overemphasized.
It is expected that participants who are leaders in their various fields will be equipped to identify and use tools to better resolve conflicts for national development.
We can always use alternative dispute resolution, preventive policing, rather than being reactive.
Officers and men and participants will leave here equipped with additional skills, modern day skills of handling conflict, so that all of us will now move into the community to play that role.
Participants are drawn from ministries, departments, agencies, and high-performing civil society and faith-based organizations and academics. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Governor David Umahi of People's Democratic Party has formally announced his defection to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in Abakaliki. Kingsley Okoro reports.
This is the first time Governor David Umahi is addressing journalists without PDP flag at his left-hand side. The governor explained that his defection to the APC was due to alleged injustice meted on the people of the Southeast from 1999 till date and the inability of PDP to zone its presidential ticket to the region. Governor Umahi debunks speculations of aspiring for his presidential ticket. Rather, it is a decision to sacrifice himself for the interest of Igbos.
APC never promised me any position. They never promised Southeast any position. There was no such discussion. However, I offered this movement as a protest to injustice being done to Southeast by PDP. That since 1998-99, the Southeast people have supported PDP in all elections. It is absurd that since 1998, going to 2023, that Southeast will never be considered to run for presidency under the ticket of PDP. Is very absurd. And if people are shouting in this country of fairness, equity, and justice, and I stand in a place where such is not practiced, then I have to, re-examine my head.
He commended the APC-led federal government for supporting Ebonyi State and Southeast Zone in infrastructural development more than the 16 years of PDP administration. In Abakaliki, Kingsley Okoro, NTA News.
The federal government is to scrap the annual performance evaluation report, APA, as a tool for assessing civil servants. It is to be replaced with a performance management system, PMS. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, who revealed this in Abuja, said the APA system has become obsolete. Kelvin Ebonwaye reports.
The new assessment method, the performance management system, is envisioned to create a digitally driven culture of performance management in the civil service. To prepare top civil servants and expose them to the new system, a training was put together by the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation in conjunction with the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria at the Public Service Institute. For the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation,
courts in particular and the administration of justice in general. The delay in our justice system delivery has been a source of great concern to me, as it must be to you all, I believe.
Holding at the National Judicial Institute, the theme of this year's conference is the role of lower courts in promoting justice and good governance in Nigeria.
One category of courts remain an ever-present and enduring necessity to all Nigerians. As such, it cannot be overemphasized that the need for a forum such as this is necessary to prepare you to perform optimally.
In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
A cleaner, Mrs. Esther Tanko, Tuesday gave a vivid description how her son, Elijah Tanko, who was abducted in December 2019, was taken to an undisclosed orphanage in Port Harcourt and renamed Excellence. She submitted the picture of her son and other documents to the Independent Investigative Panel on Human Rights Violations by defunct SARS and other units of the Nigeria Police Force, which were admitted as exhibits. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chinwuba reports.
Esther Tanko told the panel how her son, Elijah Tanko, along with 2 other children, were traced to a yet-to-be-identified orphanage. After subjecting her son to DNA test, Desmond of the defunct SARS office Abatua, Abuja, informed her that 8 other women had laid claim to her son, whose name had been changed to Excellence. She also told the panel that one of the children was sold for 8 million naira.
They say I should forget about my baby. They have already buried my baby. I say, let me tell you people, since the God did not take my child's life on Sunday, my child will not die again.
The case of alleged extrajudicial killing of Alexander Obu could not be heard. Counsel to the petitioner, Marshal Abubakar, pleaded with the panel to hear the case in line with the terms of reference, even though the matter was pending in court. Respondent's counsel, James Idashaba, raised objection. Belu Akuboku, a victim of stray bullet, on how he was able to ascertain that the bullet which hit him was from the police during the shared police clash. The respondent counsel also told the petitioner's witness, Eze Osita, a chemist, who corroborated Akuboku's evidence that, not being a medical expert, he is not in a position to treat gunshot wound. In Abuja, Vera Chinwuba, NTA News.
The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, is increasing in response towards the completion and delivery of work at different power stations across its catchment areas of FCT, Kogi, Nasarawa and Niger states to ensure stable electricity supply. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the managing director of AEDC, Ernest Mupwaya, made this known during a visit by the chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, Professor James Momo, to the company's head office in Abuja.
The roadmap for realizing a safe, quality and affordable electricity is driven through a long and short-term initiative strengthened by government incentives. Under the arrangement, the company will ensure massive installation of prepaid meter, address estimated billing system, and sustain humanitarian support to customers.
I can only give the MD of Abuja Disco A+. You're on the right track. We are very proud.
Abuja Electricity Distribution Company is also improving capacity in social media feedback, cashless transaction, and tackling challenges of tariff.
All customers must be metered. Secondly, there must be revenue protection systems to ensure there are no leakages for the metered customers. You achieve these 2 things, then the customer has only 2 choices. It's either they pay or they are disconnected. So that positive cash flow feeds the entire value chain, and then you have a natural growth in the business.
Technical losses and power theft, which constitute critical setback to the company's operations, is equally being handled to avert avoidable wastages. Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, as well as the Federal Capital Territory are the major beneficiaries of these projects when completed, aimed at stabilizing electricity supply as well as promoting business opportunities in the country. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a break. More stories when we return. Back. Following federal government's declaration of intent to resume the rollout of digital switchover to revolutionize the broadcast industry, experts in the sector in a virtual conference discussed the prospects and challenges that lie ahead. Amaka Orr tells us more.
After a series of metamorphoses in the communication industry, broadcasting worldwide is slowly but surely becoming a digital affair. Nigeria is not left behind in this quest as major strides are being taken to fully upgrade from analog to digital.
The purpose of transition is because science, as technology, has proven that there can be more spectrum maximization, with digital technology, much more than you can benefit in analog technology.
But if we look at the new opportunities with DTT, I think you're talking about obviously having more channels, but the more channels that there are, the greater pressure there is.
And from what we know, it is a democratization of broadcast.
Regional Director, NTA 2 Lagos Network Center, Lawal Ahmed, in a paper presentation on the topic TV content distribution, emphasized that the quality of content on television channel determines the viewership, while calling for synergy among content providers.
I think there are some very critical issues that I have highlighted in my presentation too. I talked about synergy. I talked about understanding the content value chain. Now, the synergy I'm talking about is that the independent producer sits down, comes up with a concept and produces the program. It's at that level that he or she will be looking for the channel to air the content.
The initiative, according to these experts, is expected to have huge benefits on the economy, in addition to freeing up a considerable valuable spectrum for use in other industries, as well as generate about 1.1 billion naira. The expectation of participants at this conference is that Nigeria will fully attain digital switchover in the year 2021. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Reproductive health and its benefits can be promoted when there is mutual agreement on family planning between spouses to prevent neonatal death. This is the message of members of the Association for the Advancement of Family Planning, AAFP, to Nigerian families during a courtesy visit to the NTA by the group to solicit media support. Elizabeth Omori reports.
The imperative for couples to choose the number of children they want and apply preferred family planning methods, gynecologists say, can significantly enhance the health of mothers and their babies. They need to build an informed population through collaborations with traditional and religious institutions. The Association for the Advancement of Family Planning in Nigeria says will promote reproductive health. They noted this as they solicited the support of the NTA for their forthcoming conference.
This is majorly to focus on issues of family planning and see how we can work with government and partners to make sure that women get qualitative, right-based family planning services accessible to them wherever they are in Nigeria.
Represented by the Executive Director News, Mohammed Labo, the Director General NTA assured the body of adequate support media-wise where necessary.
The best we can to assist you. We have multiple platforms in NTA. Some are not free, of course. We'll look at the schedule that you have. What you will pay, we will ask you to pay, but we will give you very generous discount, and the others will cover gratis.
The Association for the Advancement of Family Planning is a national coalition of family planning advocates in Nigeria. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Away from Nigeria, the World Health Organization has welcomed the additional experimental vaccine, which is reported to have shown 94.5% efficacy, but however said many questions remained and it was no time for complacency. Justin Bem-Uyi reports on these and other issues around the globe.
The World Health Organization remains cautiously optimistic on the development of COVID-19 vaccine, despite the encouraging news about recent test results. Director General of the agency, Tedros Ghebreyesus, made this known at a press briefing shortly after Moderna, an American biotechnology company, announced that its coronavirus vaccine is 94.5% effective against the virus. Tedros Ghebreyesus said the goal is to protect high-risk groups, including health workers, in all countries from the coronavirus.
This is not the time for complacency. While we continue to receive encouraging news about COVID-19 vaccines and remain cautiously optimistic about the potential for new tools to start to arrive in the coming months, right now we're extremely concerned by the surge in cases we're seeing in some countries, particularly in Europe and the Americas. Health workers and health systems are being pushed to the breaking point.
Meanwhile, number of coronavirus cases globally have now surpassed 55.6 million, with over 1.3 million casualties. Just as the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says, the country now records 65,305 cases and 1,163 casualties. Away from the COVID-19 update now to the U.S. elections, where President Donald Trump's campaign is withdrawing a central part of its lawsuit seeking to stop the certification of the election results in Pennsylvania, where Democrat Joe Biden defeated Trump to capture the state and help win the White House. Ahead of a Tuesday hearing in the case, Trump's campaign dropped the allegation that hundreds of thousands of mail-in and absentee ballots, 682,479 to be precise, were illegally processed without its representatives watching. The campaign's slimmed-down lawsuit, filed in a federal court on Sunday, maintains the aim of blocking Pennsylvania from certifying a victory for Biden in the state. And it maintains its claim that Democratic voters were treated more favorably than Republican voters. Justin Bem-Uyi, NTA News.
Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has cautioned Gambia's finance policymakers not to embark on Nigeria's public finance management reforms without the devotion of topmost political leadership. She was speaking at the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between both countries that will see Nigeria provide 5 years technical support on Treasury single accounts for the Gambia. Leah Katung-Babatunde completes the story.
It's been 15 years since the implementation of the Treasury Single Account TSA, a critical component of Nigeria's finance management reforms, which has seen the federal government save 45 million naira monthly in interest payments. This is in addition to other benefits, both in fiscal and monetary terms. This feat saw the Gambia embark on a study tour of Nigeria last year. Now agreements have been concluded and teams of experts will engage in exchange programs to facilitate the implementation of the TSA before other reforms in the Gambia, as advised by the International Monetary Fund, IMF.
What they're trying to do is what we've done here, to consolidate all of government accounts into one single treasury account that will be managed by the Central Bank of the Gambia. The benefits, of course, are improvements in public financial management, liquidity management, and also the reduction in the cost of having to borrow when you can pull all your accounts and use the resources.
There are so many other reforms that are currently happening, including the expansion of the IFMIS to all government institutions, including subvented agencies, including the regional administration offices, including our embassies abroad. We are also implementing EFT, that's electronic funds transfer.
As African countries begin to key into the continuous reforms in Nigeria's public finance management system, Ethiopia is next.
All over Africa, all over the world, you go to IMF, you go to World Bank, you go to African Development Bank, everybody agrees that TSA implementation in Nigeria has been a success.
With the signing of this Memorandum of Understanding, the Gambia will be able to leverage on the experience of Nigeria to build unrecorded strengths while avoiding recorded mistakes. In Abuja, Leah Kaching Babachule, NTA News.
And now sports.